All right, I want to talk about the real reason that ABC canceled Roseanne. All right, because a lot of people think it's because of what she said. Also, at the end of this video, I'm going to have a clip from the Star Spangled Hammered podcast, which is my podcast. I'm going to have a clip from that at the end of this, so you guys are going to want to stay tuned for that. We're talking about the Roseanne situation in the clip, so it's hilarious. And then I'll have links down below to the full show if you want to check that out. But yeah, that'll be at the end. But first, I want to cover the real reason for why ABC canned Roseanne. So, they've been saying that it's because of what she said, but that's just not the truth. Words are forgivable. All right, and we've seen that through time. We saw just recently with Samantha Bee. What Samantha Bee said about Ivanka Trump was terrible. Liberals are coming out defending Samantha Bee, telling Samantha Bee not to apologize for what she said. They're saying, oh, no, Ivanka's not a C word. A C words are beautiful and strong and great. It's just like they're attacking her. Still Ivanka Trump. And Mel Gibson was forgiven for saying what he said. When he told his ex-girlfriend or ex-wife or whatever that she was going to be raped by a pack of N-words and a bunch of terrible stuff and anti-Semitic slurs and things. He was forgiven for that. Bill Maher was forgiven for using the N-word on his show. He's forgiven for comparing Trump to an orangutan. Liberals are forgiven all the time for saying racist things, which leads me to believe it's not about what she said. It's not about the words. Again, words can be forgiven. What this is about is the left wanting to be able to say, hey, guess what? We fight back against racists. Look at us. We're all high and mighty. We're the moral superiors in this situation. Because since Trump has taken office, they've been trying to say that Trump is a racist. They've been trying to say that his supporters are racist. And they're unfairly accusing us of being racist, right? And Trump. And they've been waiting for that one situation to call someone a racist. And Roseanne slips up. She says something she shouldn't have said. She blamed the Ambien. Obviously, there's a lot of horror stories on Ambien, but you still have to accept responsibility regardless of what you were taking. But they throw it on her. Now, she is taking the blow for all of the Trump supporters. Now they're saying, oh, look, they immediately canceled it. They didn't even give her a chance. They just canceled the show and said, oh, you know what? Roseanne's racist. Trump supporters are racist. Here's proof of that. And look at us getting rid of her because we fight back against the oppressed. Or we fight for the oppressed against the oppressors. Right? That's what they want to be able to say. So the real reason they canceled Roseanne is not because of what she said. I don't agree with what she said. I've said that numerous times, but it's not about what she said. It's about the left wanting to look morally superior, which is just completely ridiculous that they're going to throw this poor woman away who's brought, ABC record ratings. They're going to throw her away. All of the cast and crew that had jobs, throwing them away just because of a single tweet. But again, it's not about the tweet. Like I said, it's about showing that they're the moral superiors. Now, Roseanne Barr tweeted saying she was begging. She tweeted, quote, I begged Ben Sherwood at ABC to let me apologize and make amends. I begged them not to cancel the show. I told them I was willing to do anything and asked for help in making things right. I'd worked doing publicity for them for free for weeks, traveling through bronchitis. I begged for people's jobs. Then in another tweet, she said, quote, he said, what were you thinking when you did this? And then she said, I thought she was white. She looks like my family. He scoffed and said, what you have done is egregious and unforgivable. And then she said, I begged for my crew's jobs. Will I ever recover from this pain? So clearly she's going through a situation. And she told Joe Rogan that she was on antidepressants, she was drinking, and she was taking Ambien. So she's obviously not in a good spot right now. And obviously filming this show in her 60s is very stressful as well. And I think this was kind of like something good for her, if she's really in that low spot that she said. And now she tweeted something, she made a mistake, and they're just shoving. It doesn't matter how she feels or her personal situation. They're just shoving her down, just for the sake of looking moral. She apologized. She said, I didn't know. I believe her. I don't think she knew. Why would she do that? Why would she tweet that when she had this record show? It'd be different if she didn't have the show and she tweeted that and she was like, whatever, because nothing was. But there was a reason for her not to say anything racist. Even if she was a racist, which I don't think she is, but even if she was, you'd think that she'd not tweet something like that because of the fact that she knew that she had this show that just got renewed for a second season. That's a huge hit and people are loving it and she's making a ton of money. And her crew is making tons of money and the cast. I mean, she had a show on TV for years, 9 seasons before now. not one time back then did she say anything stupid, you know? She's had some controversial comments over time, but that's just Roseanne. That's what she's done. So again, the real reason they canceled this, it's not because of the tweet. It's because of how they wanted to look. But anyway, let's take a look at, let's take a listen, I should say, to the clip from the show last night that I did with my friend. If you enjoyed the clip, you want to hear more, there's a link down below to the full Star Spangled Hammered podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play. So make sure you check that out. But thank you all for tuning into this video. Let's play the clip, and I'll see you guys next time. I guess the biggest story of the week was the Roseanne situation that happened. So just kind of backstory here. Roseanne was popping some pills. Apparently she says she was taking Ambien, and she tweeted that Valerie Jarrett, who's a former Obama aide, I guess aide, she tweeted that legal advisor or whatever. She tweeted that if the Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby, that it would be Valerie Jarrett. And so, of course, because Valerie Jarrett's black, everyone's like, oh, that's a racist comment, and they immediately canned her show. Like, there wasn't even a delay. It was like the tweet was taken down, she apologized, and then, boom, ABC canceled it.
Yeah, which it's interesting that that's the way that it all happened, and I can kind of see both sides of it. Yeah. You know, on one side, I do feel like whenever it's a conservative, you know, it's automatically taken down. You know, you had the Samantha Bee situation where she called Ivanka Trump the C word after she basically the only thing that she posted was a picture of her holding her newborn baby. Yeah. That's like, come on, is there nothing sacred anymore? Yeah. Like, I get roasting, you know, Trump. Like, there are legitimate criticisms of Donald Trump's character. Yeah. But it's like a mother holding her baby, and you're just going to call her the C word? Yeah. Like, what?
It's like, what the, and dude, the C word.
The party of feminism.
Yeah, the party of feminism. And then did you see that lady responded to it, and it was like, well, C words are strong and beautiful and powerful, like, responding. It's like, dude, what are you talking about?
Like, why are you trying to defend that?
Could you imagine if on this show we were like, hey, Samantha Bee, you bleep, you know, and just on the, dude, ripped apart. I mean, it would be insane. And then she came out and apologized, but...
Well, her show won't get canceled, but Roseanne will.
Well, no, and what's funny is, and I pointed this out, Bill Maher on his show, and like, here's the thing about comedians, and I just want to point this out at the beginning. Comedians, you make a living making jokes, you know? Yeah. At some point, you're going to say something that pisses a ton of people off. It's just going to happen. Yeah. And you just kind of have to live with it. So I defend all comedians, like, I don't care. But Bill Maher compared Trump to an orangutan, right? Nothing happened. And I get that she's black, but it's like, if we truly want equality, nobody should be compared to primates. Like, I feel like that's an insult for anybody. Like, if I were to go and just compare, it's like, oh, Luke, you're a monkey. Yeah. That would just be offensive either way, you know?
Well, yeah, and I get that, you know, there's always going to be that racial issue. But at the same time, you know, have some consistency between people. You know, if you're going to fire Roseanne, then fire Samantha Bee.
Well, fire Joy Behar, who tweeted, she was like, fire at Trump Tower, one dead, hopefully it's Trump. Yeah. And then, you know, she's still on The View. She was the one who said that, you know, she's like, oh, you know, you talking to Jesus is one thing, but when he's talking to you, that's insanity or whatever.
Yeah, but that's also not a personal threat. That's just her being an idiot. Yeah. So it's, you know, that's different.
And I get what she was making. She was saying it's like voices in your head, but yeah. But I don't know. But and then they were talking about, this was the dumbest thing. They were like, hey, well, why don't we continue Roseanne and not have Roseanne?
Yeah, that was the stupidest argument.
How do you still continue with Roseanne?
What are you gonna call the name? Just a blank slate?
Yeah. What are you gonna call Roseanne? And then Roseanne never shows up. You know, what are you gonna do? Have her die? Like, there's nothing you can do to keep the show going without Roseanne.
It's like, hey, have you seen the new episode of Is My Favorite Show?
Yeah, it's like Family Guy without a family. Yeah. You know? It's just nobody.
Well, it's like you kick off like Ray Romano from Everyone Loves Raymond.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, it's time for the new episode of Everyone Loves.
It's like Full House, and then the house is empty. Yeah. Like, you walk in, is anyone home? All right, no, all right, see ya. Like, end of the series, you know.
It's like having The Simpsons without Homer Simpson.
Yeah. It's like,
hey, get ready for the new season of the...
Yeah. Record high ratings on this season of... It's going to be a great show. Last season on Roseanne, they did this. This season on... They're not doing that.
I don't get any of that.
Just get the show off the air. I didn't even think it was funny. I want to be completely honest with you. I did not find Roseanne to be funny.
I didn't even watch it.
It's not funny. It's like this... I don't even want to say, because I understand the kind of like older person type of humor, you know? But I never found it funny, just the show in general. Like, there are a couple funny segments. Like, there was one scene where she like dunks her kid's head or like her granddaughter's head in the sink, and everyone's like, oh, and I'm like, I just didn't find that funny, you know?
Yeah, but it got the rating, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, that's just because it was pro-Trump.
Yeah.
It's like the last man standing. People are craving that. I mean, dude, that's, you know, our society is messed up when there's like Last Man Standing and Roseanne, only 2 pro-Trump shows. Not even pro-Trump, just right-leaning in general shows, you know?
Yeah.
And immediately people are jumping
I always
all
think
over
it's
them.
hilarious that like you can tell how much someone likes Trump by if you tell them you're a Trump supporter by like how loudly they repeat it. Like all the liberals will be like, he's a Trump supporter.
Yeah.
It's like the way like, yeah, I don't know. It's like, you know, they'll always talk about like you have some disease. It's like, he's a Trump supporter.
Yeah.
And then if it's someone that likes Trump, he's like, oh, I like Trump. Oh, he likes Trump. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I know, dude. It's
They're like shouting it, like
Yeah.
telling everybody they know just as loud as they
oh,
can.
dude, got Trump guy over here. Yeah, no, it's so funny. Well, because it's like they act like 53 million people didn't vote for Trump. You
Yeah.
know? They're just like, oh, there's a Trump. Like, dude, the thing that I love about the left is that they don't understand how somebody could support Trump.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there's all this greatness going around in the United States. Like jobs are coming back, the economy's booming, African-American unemployment rate is at an all-time low. We've got North Korea coming to the table. And then the liberals are like, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. Why can people
How could
support
anyone vote for such a jerk?
Yeah, it's like Eminem with his freestyle.
Yeah.
You know? We're supposed to change our mind because Eminem, you know? I
Yeah.
just think the whole celebrity thing is stupid. And I do think they canceled her show because it was right-leaning. Like, I feel like that axe was sharpened and it was just like, whoosh,
Yeah.
you know, the minute it happened.
Yeah, but at the same time, you do have to look at it from the other perspective. Like, you know they're looking for an excuse to fire you. So how are you going to go on Twitter and say something that dumb?
Well,
and it's not like it
it's
was
just-
actually funny.
No.
You know, you could defend it if it was funny, like you're a comedian, but there comes a point where it's not actually funny.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to say something
if you read
offensive.
that tweet and you were like, oh, like, you've got a problem. Like, that was not a funny tweet.
Like, my standard is, like, if it's offensive, that's fine, but it's got to be funny, too. You can't just be, like, saying things for the sake of being offensive.
Yeah, that's
you have
when
to
it
have
gets-
the comedy
yeah.
in there, too.
That's when it really gets. That's what irritates me is when people just say stuff
yeah.
just to be offensive.
And so I can understand why they didn't like, you know, the Roseanne thing. It's one thing to blame it on Ambien, but at the same time, like, you can't, just because you take Ambien doesn't mean that you're no longer responsible for your own actions.
No, but
You know?
I have heard so many horror stories regarding Ambien.
Yeah.
Like people get up, like cook themselves a meal. Like I had a family friend. He was at a hotel, right? He took Ambien. He went down to the hotel bar, got ice cream at 3 a.m. Went back up. They like slid the bill under the door. And he got up in the morning. He's like, ice cream? What the hell? And he like went down there, was throwing a fit. And I am not kidding. This happened. He was throwing a fit, and he didn't remember that he had ordered the ice cream. It's like, dude, you got ice cream. I get it, but like Ambien. I don't know. She said she was on like a bunch of antidepressants. She was drunk and taking Ambien. Like, so if you're on antidepressants, drinking and taking Ambien at this, you shouldn't even be having a show to begin with. Like,
Yeah.
You're messed up, lady, you know? But we should let her talk. That's the thing, is they're trying to silence her now. And it's like,
Yeah, I don't agree with silencing her, but at the same point, it's like, use some common sense.
No.
You know, if you're doing all that stuff, maybe turn off your phone.
And she said something, I don't remember what it was, but it was another person in the Obama administration. It might have been Condoleezza Rice, who was in the Bush, but she said something about that person having like giant swinging ape balls, and it was another black person.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know,
At some
you
point,
get
it's
one,
your own
you
fault.
get one ape slip up, right?
Yeah.
And then if you do it twice, it's like, all right, you know, you might have a little problem with black, and then, you know, watch her like, but again, she'll bounce back. Like Mel Gibson bounced back after his like, if you get raped by a pack of blank, you know, and that you couldn't have been more blunt about that.
Yeah.
So
that's-
it just, you know, here's the just don't be racist. Like, how hard is that to just not be racist?
Yeah,
you know?
or don't like post. I don't know. I just don't know how stupid you have to be in this day and age to be like openly racist.
Yeah.
And like go and tweet about it. Like
Yeah.
you're not going to.
Well,
especially if you're on a TV show.
Yeah.
Like they're not. No
Dude,
one's
she just
gonna
got her
see your
TV
tweet.
show back. Amazing ratings. Ape.
That's
what-
like literally the fastest way. Like that's the only way you
Like
could
she
screw that up.
It's like she opened a book, fastest ways to lose your hit TV show, and then it's like, call a black person an ape. All right, beep, tweet. You
Yeah.
know? Like,
Say something racist is like the number one thing. Like all you have to do, don't rape anybody, don't kill anybody, don't be a racist. And people can't get that right. Like how hard is it?
oh, dude, you've got like Harvey Weinstein. He had everything. This huge empire in Hollywood making tons of money. He can't not ask somebody to watch him shower. Like, how hard is it to
it's like,
not be a
you're
weirdo?
Billionaire and you can't get a date. Like, how hard is that? Like, I own a multimedia empire, and there's no one in Hollywood who wants to go on, like, an actual date with you.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I do, like, all the creepy stuff.
Yeah, it's just, dude, those people, you know, I don't understand, you know? I just don't get it. Like, it's so common sense, and you have to know in the moment that it's stupid.
Well, this is the same reason that Trump was elected. Hollywood is completely detached from regular society. They don't know what's going on.
No.
They think they know, but they don't know what's going on.
What they need, here's what needs to happen with the right is they cannot be defending they can defend Roseanne, okay? But they can't defend what she said. Because when you start to defend what she said, then what happens is that you've got the left being able to be like, oh, hey, look, they're defending racist statements made by Roseanne. Like, you can defend Roseanne, you can say, hey, she made a mistake, she apologized, like, let's cut her some slack. But you can't come out and be like, oh, what she said wasn't bad.
Well, and that's the problem. You have to keep your principles before your party. Because if you don't, that's how you end up with Mitch McConnell, you know, and stuff like that. You can't defend somebody, even if you're a member of the right. You can't defend somebody just because they're a conservative or a Trump supporter or a Republican or, you know, fill in the group that you also belong to.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't, if you're not willing to call out members of, like, your own group of people, then you really have nothing to...
You have no principles. It just means that the only thing you care about is the letter, you know?
Yeah.
And it's about so much more than that.
That's the problem with the Democrats, too. It's the same way on the left.
Oh, yeah. They're defending Samantha Bee.
Yeah.
And it's like, she came out and said a horrible thing about women.
Yeah.
And when you say that about women, expect
they would
the
have
backlash.
so much more, like, lenience to say their stuff, especially because they're the ones that are really on the politically correct train. Like, they want everything to be PC. If they would have come out and said, no, unacceptable, and fired her, they would have so much more breathing room to then attack people like Roseanne.
You know what?
But the fact that you do, like, the back and forth stuff, that's when it just gets really old.
And the thing is about the left is they want the moral high ground so badly that they're, like, waiting for a conservative to slip up. Pardon me. Roseanne isn't a conservative, but someone on the right to slip up, right? So finally Roseanne does. And then they're like, oh, yeah, they automatically have the moral high ground. Then again, we can go back to the book. Open the book. First thing not to do when you immediately get the moral high ground, don't call another woman a C word, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't understand how stupid people are.
Well, and it's Twitter, and it's a picture of her and her baby.
Yeah.
Like, how does that come to mind when you picture, like, a woman and her baby? That's supposed to be, like, the most pure and innocent thing in the world.
There are, like, 4 words that are off limits. There's, like, the N word, right? There's the C word, and there's a couple, I don't know, you know, I'm not going to, because then somebody will be like, oh, there's also this and this. Like, I'm not trying to get all, but there's, like, 4 words that you just don't say.
Yeah.
Don't
I mean,
say
how
it.
hard is that? Like, it's not.
Yeah,
it's
you're not even
seems so easy.
Yeah, it's so easy, but people just say it anyway. You know,